Hi everybody, this is our movie for our thought experiment, and you may have the first part of this done because we did this over a couple class periods. And I posed the question to start with that if you had a gnomon on a very tall building and on the ground, would they make, would they show the same altitude of the sun? And everybody, as they should, tended to draw this picture right here, which is very consistent with what we knew at the time. And that was, and people said, no, those are going to be different altitudes because this is clearly throwing a shorter shadow than this one, and they're both the same size gnomons. And after we did this, we then did a few different classroom activities. One was with the toothpicks on the table, where we moved the light away and found that their shadows started to become more and more parallel as they went, as the light was moved away, and we inferred that if the light was far enough away, those shadows would look parallel. They would never be exactly perfectly parallel, but for all practical purposes, they would be parallel. We did another thing with the mask and screens too, where we also found when we moved the light away from the hole in the screen, we could never get the image smaller than the hole because we can, the lines of light will only go parallel and no smaller. And the whole idea behind all those was to realize that the further a light source is away, then the more parallel the lines of light hit us. Well, if you actually did this experiment, and you put a gnomon on the ground here and one up on Mount Rainier, we would find out that they were exactly the same altitude at the same point in the day. And the light really hits the Earth like this. And this is why they would read the same. In our first picture, we put the sun like it was very close to the Earth. In fact, the sun is so far away from the Earth, it makes the light from it that hits the Earth hit the Earth in straight parallel lines like you see in this drawing. So you want to do your second drawing this way, and this is very important moving into our shadow plots unit to realize that light from the sun is always hitting us in these straight parallel lines. This is also, we did a little field trip out of class, and we found out that all of the shadows from things like the parking posts out front, or the fence posts out on the backfield, or the goal post on the field, they were all parallel as well. And the reason you get parallel shadows is because the lines of light hitting the Earth are parallel as well. And that's it. So finish the second part of this drawing, or both drawings if you missed both days, and we'll see you when you're back in class.